Oh no.
I hope she comes back tomorrow. My streaming career might die if she goes home. If she gets put away forever, my streaming career is done. I'm telling you, the cops did it 4 times a day for the past week, bro. The cops were based Chads in my city. Hello, Maryland. Hope you're having a good day. Why are you in my entrance? You're in my entrance. Get out of my entrance, please! Get out!
I've talked about how this generation is more fixated on short hits of dopamine than any previous generation. My parents will constantly tell me, oh, as children, we played outside. We didn't have these little phones that you touch, a touch screen phone. We had these big brick phones. And I feel that every generation slips a little bit more into degeneracy. This generation, probably the worst one so far. But I want to document it today because I've talked about many people on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, people that clip farm and stuff like that. But what happens when you're put into a really bad situation that you basically had no control over? So we've now reached the point as a society, Joker reference, where people are now live streaming their entire saga about a squatter that has moved into their house that won't leave. This actually happened. There is a streamer right now who's basically having a roommate, and that roommate is a squatter that broke in when they were away from the home, and legally they have no power. They can't do anything. So what did they choose to do? Make content out of it. Of course they would. Now there is a lawsuit about this situation. I can't even say the word situation because it's like such a commentary buzzword now. But there is a lawsuit going on right now, and there is so much law to go over here. So the premise of this situation is there is a character called Asian Andy. That sounds like a racist bit, but genuinely that is the username he goes by. I've actually milked the word Andy so much, I just can't even say that. I can't even say that name seriously. Now, Asian Andy had a sibling who was renting out her place on Airbnb. That was until one person chose to stay at her Airbnb way past the date that she was meant to. I'm sure anyone that stayed at an Airbnb, you wake up and it's like, oh, damn, we got to check out. And you're late by like 3 hours and you get charged out the butthole. But this is a woman who basically thought, this is a nice house. It's mine now. It's mine. So because of the situation that Asian Andy's sibling was in, Asian Andy took it upon himself to basically try to exorcise this demon from the house. Now, if you're unfamiliar of Asian Andy, he's like what you'd call an IRL streamer. He does these like bizarre, deranged live streams where he lets, you know, his TTS basically roam free. I have TTS on my stream, text to speech. You know, people give $10. They say something funny. Usually it's not funny. It's just a bit that they stole like from 3 donations prior. But Asian Andy goes the next step with his donation. They are degenerate to the point that they're basically just doxing his address via his Amazon Alexa.
Alexa, what is my current location? You are...
Whoa, stop.
California.
It says the exact location. Holy shit. No way.
Alexa, order male enhancement pill. Searching Amazon.
Now, the reason why he's called Asian Andy is because he was associated with Ice Poseidon and he used to be part of the CX network. That was before the platform was closed down in 2019. So this is the whole like Andy thing, and I feel like I need to explain this, and I'm going to do it very poorly. The Andy law scholars will be annoyed at me. So you may have noticed I say Andy a lot, right? Like I'll say 1 minute Andy, react Andy, all that stuff. I stole this bit. This bit came from Ice Poseidon because Ice Poseidon would have like a bunch of people be on his stream who were basically just vultures and leeches trying to basically suck the clout from his little man boob. So all of these people that were circling around Ice Poseidon, they were called Andys. This guy is Asian, so we're now going to call him Asian Andy. This other guy, he's Mexican. Okay, let's just call him Mexican Andy. Oh, this guy is fat, so we're going to call him Burger Andy. Also, there's a really funny clip with Burger Andy that you've probably already seen where, like, he's trying to get on a bus to leech more clout. They won't let him on. And the way the bus door shuts and it just shows, like, a deformed face because, like, the mirror's bent. It's a painful watch.
Oh, yeah. You said I could get on if I had a worm.
Oh, okay.
You guys said I could get on if I had... And earlier he said I could get on.
Bleach. Dude.
Paul, is it cool if I come, man? Come on, you said I could come on earlier.
Same people as before, we don't have enough seats.
You said and I just ate a worm and shit. Dude, it's sketchy out here. I don't have to walk back through there.
I mean, why'd you come here?
I came here to see you guys. You said I could come with you.
So that's where the term Andy originally came from, and then I kind of yoinked it and just tried to apply it to anything I don't like. So for context, I feel like we need to explain what a squatter is, because, you know, a lot of parasitical viewers, they don't get outside that much, so they'll never have the horrors of experiencing what a squatter is. So basically, this is someone who resides in a property that they have no legal title, right, or lease to. Now, you probably think, okay, if they just broke into someone's house, why aren't the police called and they just evicted straight away? Well, that's a trespasser, and a trespasser is different to a squatter. Now, it's different from a trespasser because a squatter usually has moved into the property, and depending on the situation, they might try to alter the locks, you know, set up utilities in their name, or anything else to try and pass the property off as theirs. Now, I'm using like UK jargon here, but squatters' rights have been a thing in the UK for an incredibly long time, and I think it's totally fair for the most part, because obviously, you know, like the homeless situation in the UK and most first world countries, it's horrendously bad. And why should you have hundreds, if not thousands of people that are homeless when you have, like, you know, these Russian oligarchs that are sitting on, like, you know, 15 mansions in Kensington and Mayfair in London, and they don't even live in there. They're just sitting on the property hoping to make a profit. Well, the way squatting works is if you see like an open window or something and the building is unoccupied, legally, you can actually go in and move in there as, you know, as a squatter. That's the right. Obviously, if you break down a window or something, that is trespassing, that's breaking and entering. You basically have to hope that one of these people leave their window unlocked. It was basically a rule that was made as a super last resort to people that were homeless. Now, in the UK, if you squat in a residential property, you could be fined up to £5,000 or face 6 months in jail. And this is where the law gets a little bit weird. So, however, it's not a criminal offense to squat in an area that is classified as either commercial land or unoccupied. So basically, if you squat somewhere that's like going to be redeveloped land or something, that's apparently okay. I feel it's one of those gray area things where, like, as long as you don't get caught, nothing bad will happen. But in the UK, one thing that's really interesting, so squatters can actually gain possession of a property, and there's a couple of stipulations for this. They've been living in the property for a continuous period of time, usually 4 weeks. They make it their main residence. They've taken steps to repair and maintain the property, paid any bills associated with the property, or they've not been living there illegally. Like, for example, by gaining access, which I assume would be from like an unlocked window or something, not breaking and entering. And again, it's like, it's a rule made to protect people that have nothing left, right? They're homeless, they're on the street. But yet, one of the steps to make it your property is like paying the bills and repairing and maintaining the property. So if you do like a little bit of like Animal Crossing and touch up the house, apparently it's then yours. It's a very weird rule, and I see it being broken and changed all the time. Now, in other places in the world, like for example in California, squatting is just completely illegal. But despite that, there are actually a couple of laws in place to protect squatters. So long story short, it's a very long process. If you find a squatter in your house, it's not like a simple call the police, kick them out. It's a very long and lengthy legal process. But basically, the squatter can stay there for as long as they want until the eviction papers are served, and that could take months. And this is actually a growing concern for people that are using Airbnb, because what can happen is they legally gain access to the property because, you know, they paid, they got a key to the door, a key cut, they've got the access to the property, they might just not want to leave, and then because of squatters' rights, they'll probably be evicted at some point, but it's going to take a very long time and a very long and expensive legal process. So now, knowing the context of a squatter, I want to introduce the antagonist of today's story, and that is Mary. Now, Mary is the woman that basically stayed in the Airbnb in Asian Andy's sister's home and wouldn't leave once the time that was set expired. So according to Asian Andy, his sister that, you know, owned the Airbnb used to be a teacher. She basically used the money being a teacher, bought a home, renovated it, and then eventually rented out some rooms on Airbnb. But now the problem is, with Mary squatting in the residence after the expiration, she can't get any more guests into the house because Mary's living there. She's taking up the room that's been rented out. Andy's sister is basically using the excess money generated from Airbnb to, you know, raise her family, pay bills, all that kind of stuff. And all of that has now came to a sudden stop because Mary has chosen to just live here now. Also, for extra context, the house is actually in Orange County, California. And a lot of people in Orange County are known to rent out their houses or like rooms in their house for extra profit. Like, I've talked to a lot of people that live in California, and the housing crisis there, oh my God, it's somehow nearly as bad as like New Zealand or Canada. I don't know how it's gotten so dire. So Asian Andy basically explains that Mary has been doing this for quite a while. She's a seasoned squatter. She's 10th prestige squatting. to the point that basically all the cops in the area know her by name. So Mary's tactic was basically using prepaid Airbnb cards, and then she would purposely find a low activity Airbnb and then decide herself over the course of a month that basically she has the right to live in Asian Andy's sister's house. And also keep in mind as well, she's refusing to pay additional rent. This isn't a thing where it's like, oh, I want to stay here, but I'll cover the costs. Like she's living there rent free. I know the word rent free has kind of been destroyed on the internet, but like this is the first time where it actually makes sense. She's actually living there rent free. And this is one of the reasons why evicting Mary is so difficult, because that voice oh god, is that a voice break? Oh, you can tell how invested I'm getting in this video because of the voice breaking. This is the problem with Mary though, because she's a 10th prestige squatter. She knows all of her rights, so she can play the system in her favor. She probably knows eventually she'll be evicted, but it's going to take an incredibly long time to do that. Now, another important character in this tale is Vince. Vince is also someone who lives in the same home with Mary and is registered to do so since November 2023.
Airbnb here.
I'm not an Airbnb guest.
Okay, how long?
We talked to this. I've been registered to live here since November of 2023.
Now, Vince has direct relations to the owner of the home. He's her brother, and it's likely that Vince and Asian Andy are related as well. And he's had his own fair share of interactions of like why he just does not like Mary and vice versa. I mean, again, could you imagine a worse scenario? Like, you know, I know people have had experiences with bad roommates and stuff, but like, you know, roommates, at least for the most part, they actually pay their rent and stuff. This isn't happening here. So the first night that Asian Andy visits the house, again, he doesn't live there. He's been deployed there like a helldiver trooper just to basically troll Mary so much. Hopefully she leaves. So the first night that he arrives, he basically proceeds to play really loud TTS messages and videos. And then he also decides to change the locks on the house to, you know, stop any future incidents like this happening in the future. So Mary, this whole time, was refusing to cooperate at all. So Vince ends up yelling and actually hopping through the window to be able to go and fix the door. And then Vince says that he needs the front door to be accessible.
Right now I can't even get into my own house. I'm not coming through, buddy. So lock my front door. It's my door. You're locking my door? You are not letting me into my own house. Okay, we're both tenants, right? We both have rights. So where is my door? Let me get in my room. I'm not going to your room. I didn't get to my room.
And then Mary actually ends up squashing Vince's foot, trying to slam the door on him so he can't get back in. His house, by the way. And the injury he got is so bad, he actually had to go to urgent care.
Please don't be violent with me. Hey, yo, this is my house. Yo, oh, my feet. My feet. You just, oh my God, you sent your knee.
For context, by the way, Vince needs the front door to be accessible because it's the only way he can actually get into his room. Meanwhile, Mary's room has her own entrance. She doesn't need the front door to be able to get into her room. But instead of immediately going to urgent care with, you know, possible broken toes, Mary proceeds to call the police. So he sticks around because obviously he has to vouch his situation to the cops, even though he really should be going to urgent care right now. So even though Mary knows her rights, she has this problem where she talks down to everyone, even with the cops. Like, she's constantly talking down to them, interrupting them, to the point where the cops are saying, like, if you don't shut up, we're literally going to put you in jail for the night.
Ma'am, listen, you need to stop interrupting our investigation. If you want to report, that's fine.
I have footage in the window.
So yeah, long story short, Mary and Vince are definitely not on good terms, which is pretty much why he's supporting Asian Andy's trolling campaign to try to get Mary out of the house. Now, one thing about Mary is she loves doors. She loves doors than the average Roblox player loves playing doors. Whether it's using them as, like, you know, brutal weapons to harm people or trying to change the locks. She also has a very clever tactic of keeping the front door open at all times, mostly because Asian Andy is playing incredibly loud music to try and troll her, and she's hoping that by the front door being open, neighbors hear it, they call the police, and then Asian Andy gets charged with a noise complaint. And her excuse for this is the front door needs to be opened at all times during business hours, due to this Airbnb being her place of accommodation. What business are you conducting apart from living in someone else's house rent-free?
This is a place of public accommodation, so the door does need to stay open, unfortunately, during business hours.
However, that doesn't stop Andy, and he basically waits for the woman to walk outside to make the point that you're causing a disturbance, and then locks her out of the home.
So, the police are going to be called for a disturbance. We can hear it from the street.
And then she hands him this bizarre handwritten legal notice that it is her place of residence where she conducts business. And Asian Andy just proceeds to like burn the letter. So afterwards, he tries to go to the backyard area, and that is where the entrance to Mary's room is located. She demands that he doesn't go back, and that's where they have this debate about like having autism.
You're not allowed to go back there. Do you understand? Do not follow me back there. Are you autistic? You cannot follow simple directions. Do I have to call the police to explain them to you?
We'll talk about this a little bit later because Asian Andy has this bit where he says he's autistic. I mean, I'm not sure if he is or not. He's a streamer, so probably. But, you know, she will basically mock him for having autism, but then, you know, 5 minutes later say, oh, I also have autism.
Say that you have autism, and I actually feel bad for you because I have autism too. Okay? And when I was a kid, I didn't get the help I need. People thought I was...
Andy has autism, excuse him. Andy has autism, excuse him. Andy has autism.
I hate to say it, I know it's a dead bit. I know it's a dead bit, but this is a real Karen moment, okay? Mary once again calls the police, and it just ends up being a complete stonewall. The police basically, you know, telling her that other people rent this residence too. Even a neighbor gets involved at one point to confirm with the police that yes, Asian Andy lives there. Like no one is siding with this woman. No one. So after this report and Asian Andy trolling her for what could be basically a week now, like at one point he tries to like offer her food. He's gonna get like Uber Eats or something, but as soon as she opens her mouth to say what she wants, thinking she'll actually get free food off him, he just tells her to shut up and she's a fat pig.
I'm getting DoorDash. Would you like any pizza? I was gonna order some food. Do you want anything? On me. What am I ordering? I bet you would want food, you fat.
Mary had enough. It wasn't squatting in somewhere she shouldn't be. It wasn't being harassed through TTS. No, it was the fact that she wasn't getting any Uber Eats. So she gets a bit crazy here, claiming that any interaction with her door is harassment and saying that Asian Andy is smoking crack.
So, you seem to be smoking crack. Yeah, I really think you need mental health intervention.
Now, it's obvious that Asian Andy's not smoking crack. He's just having a little bit of the 420, the funny drug. The reason why she's saying crack, by the way, because weed is totally legal to smoke in California. So she tries to leave somewhere, I don't know, doing some like bizarre side quest. Maybe she's already looking to squat in someone else's house, just in case she gets evicted from Asian Andy's house. But she states that Asian Andy shouldn't go anywhere near the backyard or her door. And what you know, he does exactly that. And she follows him back there to try and stop him. And then people in his chat start making AI music, which is funny because I literally just talked about how AI music is like killing smaller content creators, but here it's I give it a full blessing.
Thank you. Who made this song? What the?
So they're making this AI music up to like try to get on her nerves even more, referencing the current situation. Like at one point he's even playing pickleball in front of her door. Now the situation starts to ramp up and become truly insane, which is probably what I'll call the video, when Mary decides to start throwing bleach outside of her door, almost as a way to like deter Andy. You know, like in Phasmophobia, you put like salt on the floor to like track where a ghost is. It's almost like she's doing a scuffed version of that. And then she shuts off the power not too long after as well.
She's touching the breaker again, dude. Can you stop touching the breaker, please? Stop touching the breaker, please.
Now, once again, the police arrive, but they can't, like... honestly, like, police in America get a bad rep, but like I genuinely feel sorry for these guys because they can't do anything. They keep getting house calls. They have to answer. They can't say no because then they're basically breaking their code as an officer. But they know that they can't do anything. Like it's a slow legal process. They have no power to like evict her. And again, guess who keeps interrupting the police talking? It's Mary again with her incessant yapping. The funny thing is, at one point she really runs out of cards to play, so she like snitches on Andy, telling the police that he's been smoking weed, and then the cops do tell her like, yes, okay, it's California, it's been legal for a long time.
It stinks in there from all the weed he's been smoking. It stinks so bad it made me sick.
Well, California is legal weed in indoor places, so
I'm all about the ganja, but not to that level.
She even gets really confrontational, calling Andy the F slur.
Ain't nobody gonna touch you.
Don't touch me. Please don't touch me.
Ain't nobody touching you.
Don't touch me. I have a girlfriend. Please don't touch me.
Now, remember how she would like antagonize him for being autistic, even though she uses that she's autistic as an excuse? Well, Mary pulling out the abhorrent F slur, but then on top of that as well, basically just being completely racist towards Asian Andy and his dad. And even that, just all of his family. Now, the next day, Asian Andy, he arises from his bed and he thinks, what do I have to do today? Let me check my, let me see my checklist. Smoke weed all day? Oh, troll Mary. That's what I need to do. So after she's appreciating Asian Andy's singing and dancing, she then proceeds to throw a new substance on the floor. She ran out of bleach, so this time it's olive oil. Now, the funny thing is, he's mopping up all the olive oil that she stained on the floor, and you can see the corner of the TV playing, and it's like the ending of Whiplash when he's playing on the drums, like the most loud scene in cinema possible. The police come. Oh, Jesus, this is like Groundhog Day. It's just the same thing over and over. Like, one of these people are going to crack. So the police come again, and they say, again, we can't do anything. Our hands are tied. This is a civil matter. Stop calling us to your house.
What's going on? So she's like throwing bleach all over the floor and like throwing oil over the floor, like the common area, like my hallway. So I'm like just brushing it. I'm like sweeping it in, sweeping it away from my area.
Everything is civil, Mary. Everything is civil.
How is him banging on the door is not harassment?
Everything.
Banging and kicking on my door?
Alright, stay away from each other, and then,
Don't call me the F word, please. Don't say that. That's not nice. I'm just sleeping.
He then bangs on her door again with the broom, reminding her that he'll see her in, you know, civil court.
I'll see you in court! I'll see you in court! It's a civil matter!
And at this point, you can hear through the door, Mary is making another call to the police.
They said they told him to stop. Clearly, he didn't get the memo. Okay, trying to break in someone's door is not a crime? No, but you were hearing it. You heard it.
They show up again on the same day, and they just complain to Mary saying, like, we have literally been here. We've been here on more call-outs than anyone else in probably all of California. And they even point out that it's not actually Andy that's calling the police. Mostly, it's Mary doing it. Well, not mostly. It's actually always Mary calling the police.
you guys understand that 911 is called for emergency only?
Yeah.
Emergency calls only? You guys are calling us for like civil issue, and then, you know, it's like non-stop.
Y'all just told him to. Y'all were just here. You
Oh, yeah,
told him
sorry.
to stop banging on the door. And as soon as y'all leave, what does he do?
So the police leave. They bicker again. And then she calls the police a third time in the same day. You know, honestly, I really wish they could just jail her for like, I don't know, just like wasting police time. But the thing is, like, I think Mary is well within her rights, unfortunately, to, you know, walk out the jail cell. Red Dead Redemption 2, Dutch Vandalin busts her out, and she walks straight back down to Asian Andy's house, because I think that it's within her rights, because she's been living there and squatting there for so long and no one noticed that, unfortunately, she does have residency there now. They even confront her about this again, and Asian Andy has access to the Ring cameras, and there's this, this beautiful scene unfolds.
So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna leave. We're going to go and talk to the neighbors. After that, we're going to take off. If you call us again, we're going to write a report. Yes. Call us again after that, you're going to go.
Fat bitch, Bettina.
The abuse of 911, and you're going to be a suspect for that. If we continue and we call again, you're going to go to jail.
Asian Andy realizes he's at a chokehold. So what does he do? He calls in reinforcements. No, he doesn't call up the police, because the police will just do absolutely nothing. No, instead, he chooses to call up one of his streamer friends, Scuffed Justin Carey. That's not a bit. That's his actual name.
Going to go help out my friend Asian Andy. He has a squatter in his house, in his residence, and he needs help getting the squatter out.
So he calls him over to basically try to hopefully get on Mary's nerves even more. Also, when he was in the CX network with like Asian Andy, he was known as Scuffed Jim Carey. It's I do like how the entire CX network was literally just built off like noun and then their actual name. Like noun scuffed, noun Asian, noun burger. Now, if you thought Asian Andy was unhinged, which to be fair, he wasn't really. He was kind of just like chilling, smoking weed, and then like playing loud videos. Wait until you see Scuffed Justin Carey.
You're gaslighting again. You're gaslighting again.
So Justin is just baiting. Like, he does not care about any kind of like morals or anything. Just shouting out loud that Mary apparently tried to touch his penis.
Don't touch my penis.
Nobody's touching your penis.
Don't touch my. You try to touch my penis again, I will call the police.
Please call the police.
You try to touch my penis again. I'm gonna tell my mom.
You know, just making more obscene statements and just general sound effects. He's basically like a working soundboard.
Let's go!
Even at one point saying that she like essayed him and he's 17 years old.
I'm 17. You tried to touch my penis. I have it on film. You tried to touch my penis. You looked at me, Dad, you looked at me square in the eyes, and you said, I'm going to you.
He also proceeds to strip down into a Speedo and parades through the living room in his fresh new fit. Now, this guy would be the antagonist of any story, but I feel that Mary is that evil that we actually need another villain to cancel each other out. Now, the police are back again. This time, they actually try to get Mary to leave.
Look at this damage to my door. I was told that you wanted to grab some belongings and leave. Oh, so that... okay, wait a minute. So you're here to get me to leave? That's what I was told that you supposed to... No, I asked... Sergeant...
That's what you told us.
...said that... Are you going to come around to the back and talk to me? No. So you don't want to take a report about this vandalism? No, I don't. Do you not see where they tried to break the door in? No. You don't see that? No. Well, I'm sure your body camera sees it. I'm going to shut the door tight so you can see. All right. Have a good day, Mary. So you're not going to take a report? I was told you wanted to grab some little... No! I want to do both! Okay.
Watching that clip, you can hear the panic in Mary's voice where she's like, oh, they threw all my things around. And then the policewoman's like, no, we got a call asking you to leave. And then she's suddenly like, wait, what? You want me to leave? But this is my house that I'm not paying anything to be in. But don't worry. Scuffed Justin is not done yet. So he speeds his way over to the door to try to get into her room.
Whoa! Oh, you tried to hit me. I have it on camera. I'm gonna prosecute you.
He's on my back door.
I'm gonna do it. Do it. Hit me.
Door.
Hit me so I can sue you. Do it so I can sue you. Do it so I can sue you.
Oh, wait.
I want to sue you.
But Mary just keeps swatting his hands away.
Come on, Mary. Come outside. Up. Up. Oh, shit. She tried to hit me. Damn, what's wrong with your teeth? Why is your teeth like that? Ew. What's wrong with your teeth? Are you poor? Oh. Oh. Ha ha. I got the stick. My stick now. Ha ha ha. My stick now. Wee. Wee. Wee.
And then he comes back in, sprays some kind of liquid on the door, and then decides to have a karaoke session dedicated just to Mary.
A little bit of karaoke with Mary. So call me Mary. Mary! I have a song I'm dedicated to you. This song is for you, Mary.
Including singing the song Creep by Radiohead.
I'm a widow.
And guess what happens, guys? Have a guess. No, seriously, no clues. Guess what happens? You'll never guess what happens.
She called again.
Mary is on the final straw, and Justin is doing a very good job trolling her because it's almost like she's gonna crack and just be like, nah, this is a free house, but it's too much. It's too much for me. But the more that Justin is trolling her, the more aggressive she becomes. So she comes back and Justin immediately runs over to her and she spits at him.
Hi, Mary. We're getting... Oh, assault.
So Justin repeats that this is assault, and in a lot of cases, you could consider being spat on purposely as an assault. And then begins to follow her, even though Mary obviously doesn't agree that it was assault. And then one thing, which is a pretty big revelation here, I mean, not really surprising. If you look at Mary's skirt... Okay, that sounded a bit weird saying that. Hear me out. Let me finish. If you look at her skirt, you can see that the skirt still has the security tag on it, probably alluding that she probably stole the clothes that she's wearing as well. It wouldn't surprise me.
Damn, you came in Ford clothes, you stole that? You stole that? Holy shit. You got muffin top. You got your shit all fucked up. Why don't you go find Jesus?
So she spits on Justin a few more times.
Meth head, your school.
And then, you know, just clearly fed up with everything. Now, I don't know Justin. I've never talked to this guy. He seems like a complete psychopath. He's needed. Did he really have to do the Hawk Tour bit?
Woo! Hawk Tour!
So this story concludes as they chase each other down the street and get more and more confrontational. She throws a shoe at him. He tries to return the shoe to her, probably before getting a sniff in. And then he keeps screaming at her, which causes her to run into a nearby restaurant. Then the police are called. Again. How many times have I said that this video? It's like the 8th time I've said that. And then Asian Andy makes a miraculous appearance again, talking to the cops and basically catching them all up to speed.
I was watching, he was doing a live show, I was watching her mom, she assaulted him. And he was like trying to film her. They get proof. Oh, I just ran over here. Oh, no, I just ran here. I'm kind of out of shape. Sorry.
And at last, finally, after weeks and weeks of torment, Mary has been arrested. We did it, guys. We did it. We did it. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Now, they did actually cuff Justin first, but they did let him go afterwards. And this really isn't surprising because, like, this stream actually went viral outside of the whole streamer circle. On the Orange County subreddit, there was actually a post warning people of a crazy guy running around with Speedos on. So, with Mary finally arrested, they're free. They can sit back, relax, probably smoke a bit more weed because that's all people do in California. Now, afterwards, the crew decides to go back to the home and see what kind of damage Mary has done. Because again, Mary in her inner sanctum, no one actually saw the inside of it because she just never left the room and always kept it locked. And she had definitely left an impact. So Mary had broke loads of things in the room. There was a TV that was busted, the door to the bathroom as well. So Andy concludes the saga by saying that he's still in the process of suing Mary, obviously for all the damages, going as far as to find her old landlords and everything to, you know, use against her in a huge case.
Right now, we're currently being sued by Mary. I'm not worried. Found out all of her past landlords. We found out all the lawyers that had to deal with her. We hired all of them. They're all very familiar with her case.
And it does seem as well that after her arrest, she was actually sent to a mental hospital for a few days. But then as soon as she came out of the hospital, she began to harass Asian Andy's sister via text messages. He then drops a full link of all this kind of stuff, including the messages, her arrest, and, you know, even a mugshot as well. Now, this Google Drive is still available right now. They've got the mugshots and everything. And they even have this edited picture, for some reason, of her holding a drawing, like, you know, celebrating 9/11. Now, I get it. Landlords are the least favorite people in the world. Everyone hates them because it's like, you know, you work a 9 to 5, a grueling hell job, and then a landlord basically just sits in their armchair, smoking their cigar, sipping on their whiskey, and they just get passive income by doing nothing. But this is a situation where, like, I'm fully siding with the landlords because this woman has taken full advantage of the system. Now, I did want to mention this throughout the video, but I wasn't really sure where to shoehorn this in. But, you know, in like kind of a more sympathetic angle, Mary is obviously very mentally ill. She is. Like no neurotypical person would do this. There is no way someone would be this unhinged. But, you know, the point I'm trying to make is, like, it doesn't excuse what she's done. It's just overall still a pretty sad situation. And again, it's like, Mary, you chose to, like, steal the home from a streamer. What were you thinking? You were probably smoking more weed than he was. Like, do you know how content-brained people are now? You are walking into a bear trap. Again, this wouldn't have escalated if Mary kept hopping around or she, you know, basically just didn't stay there as long as she did. But again, like, I do feel some level of sympathy for her, but at the same time, you need to be held accountable for, like, reckless and entitled behavior. So yeah, what's the moral of today's story? Don't be a landlord, and buy this shirt. Buy this shirt. It comes out on the 15th. Buy this shirt.